It's an honor for me to be in this event and to talk about cybersecurity, especially focus to our topic today is international cybercrime ring and investigations. And in the investigation conducted on them, okay, so let's start. Let's talk about the challenge first before we proceed with the others. Cybersecurity risk, okay. So when we talk about risk, the risk is constantly an evolving threat to anyone in this cyberspace. Yeah. When you talk about risk, when you talk about you want to improve your infrastructure, the management or the government always want to see proof or evidence that the organization is under attack. Okay, the organization, there are some threats. But it's very difficult for us, for the securities practitioner, for the experts, to come up with the concrete or come up with the evidence saying that you are under threats and then you will be attacked. So this is one of the challenge, yeah, to make sure that we are prepared, well prepared. Okay, no evidence that can says that you are under attack or you will be attacked, because nobody knows that. But the most important thing is that we can minimize the risk. Okay, minimize the risk, the potential from being a cyber victim. Okay, by minimizing the threats, reducing the risk, managing the risk. Yeah? If we can see from this slide, okay, you can see that we have external threats and then we have internal pressures. External and internal, whereby from the external threats, we can see that the threats is multiplying. Okay, and then every day there are more new attacks. Okay, as we learn just a few days, there is a new virus, new ransomware known as PETIA, after the WannaCry ransomware, and there will be one attack after another, and this will not end. This is not the end. Huh? And then the disappearing parameters, because the network is so big, because our organization has becoming bigger, and the technology is there and connected to cloud technology, so the parameters disappears. You cannot. It's difficult, okay, to see the parameters, so that you will not know what type of risk that might come to the organizations. And then we can see that the growing attacking power of the cyber criminals. They have a lot of tools, new techniques, whereby they try and every day to come up with the better techniques, better tricks to trick the users, to trick the victims. Yeah? And this is from the external. If you see from the internal side of it, there are lack of skills. Okay, the IT security practitioners, they don't learn the hard way. Okay, they always relying on the tools. For example, one of the challenge is that The technology is advanced. We come up, I mean, the vendors, the technology developer come up with the high quality devices, but the skill is not there, okay, whereby we will not be able to use the devices to the optimum level, okay, because the lack of IT skills. And we can also see in the governments or in an organization, they rely on the vendors, okay, where if there is a problem, they will call vendor. They will, if there is a, some misconfiguration, they will call vendor. If there is any problem, call vendor. If there is an attack, they will call vendor. They rely too much on the vendor, okay? So this is one of the challenge. And then we can see lack of budget, okay? IT equipments, okay, and then license have been becoming more and more expensive, okay, because it's more and more complicated, okay? So it's difficult to get budgets or for the management to approve for the budget, because most of the management, they see that IT security, it's not more or less than infrastructure. They see like this is like electricity, this is like water, okay? As long as you can be connected, and then it should be okay. We shouldn't be investing into more and more and more security, especially in area of security. But, okay, you must remember, cyberspace or cyber world, it's like a real world. In the real world, we have good people, we have bad people, we have moderate people. Same goes into the cyber world, okay? So, but in cyber world, the worst thing about it is that you don't know, you cannot see face to face. Anybody can be anybody behind the keyboard, behind an icon or behind an avatar, behind a profile. So that's another challenge. So the lack of agility, okay, whereby they don't have advanced setup to monitor in the area of cybersecurity. Okay, they don't have security operation center to monitor the type of threats that have been attacked. So this is one of the challenge, the biggest challenge. So how do we see this? Okay, so let's break into deeper. Okay, this is slides or information that I got from my trainings in the BAE systems, whereby they put it here, risk is equal to impact times probability. So if we divide it into two, the first one is the risk equal to impact times vulnerability times threat. This is the probability, because the probability will rely on vulnerability times threat. So the common vulnerability exposure is basically one of it, and the numbers over time is increasing. As for the threats, you can see that the threats we can divide into two. The first one is the non-adversarial. Non-adversarial is basically power failures, okay, threats from the bad weather, threats from the equipment failures, threats from somebody who are untrained, okay? And as for the adversarial, it's coming from the criminal, hackers, terrorists. So these are the threats, okay? But on the second part, okay, we change it into something that is more complicated, more sophisticated, whereby we can see that risk is equivalent to impact times vulnerability times motivation times capability, whereby we can see that the motivation is different for each category. For example, as for the cyber criminal, their motivation is to serve themselves for the money. They do it for the money, they want money, they do it for information, for their own purposes, okay? And then for the cyber activists, we can see that they serve a cause based on their belief, okay? What is the cause? For example, for human rights, okay? for racism, okay, for whatever cause that they put for themselves. So these are the people behind the cyber activists who hack for these kind of purposes. And then the third one, we have the cyber espionage, which is serve the nation. This is the most complicated one, okay, the highest level of criminal. Okay, we have under this category, we also have like corporate espionage, whereby they hack into your system to steal intellectual property, to steal information. Yeah, we can see that, for example, there are a lot of imitation products. For example, iPhones in China. It looks like an iPhone, but it's not an iPhone. So how do they come up with this design that is so exactly the same? Not only iPhone, there is a Range Rover, a car, vehicles, and many things. Yeah? Because of somebody managed to get the blueprints and sell it to the people with money, so that those people will not invest into R&D. So they got the blueprint, and they just set up a factory, and then they run the business. Yeah. This is espionage, serving the nations. And then the capability, we can see the capability you can divide into two. The first one is commodity capability, whereby the tools and techniques that openly available in the internet, okay, on the internet. So you can download, you can buy, you can rent, okay. But the second one is the bespoke capability. This is the specialized one, okay, whereby the tools and techniques are developed, are tailored, are designed, okay, for a specific purposes. Okay, we can see in Stuxnet, okay, Stuxnet malware in the Iranian nuclear facility attacks. So those malwares are specifically attacking the Siemens machine. So the malware will not attack, other machine, but they will attack with the machine that is connected to the Siemens brand of equipment or devices. And then, before that, the malware stay dormant until they found the machine, and then they will be activated automatically. Yeah. So we can see that nowadays, cyber is considered as the fifth dimension of security. So, for example, if a country were about to attack a country, so the cyberspace is one of the options, okay, to cripple the country in terms of communications, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of economy. So that's the fifth dimension, which is the cyber dimension. Which means that what I'm trying to say is that the cyber dimension, cyberspace, is more important. We need to take care of this more in terms of its security. Yeah? For example, in the cyberspace, the most critical sectors. For Malaysia, we have these 10. We listed these 10 sectors. We have defense, security, transportation, banking, finance, health services, emergency services, energy, information and communications, government, food and agriculture, and water. So these 10 sectors are critical. They cannot be down. If you've seen the Die Hard 4 movies, whereby when they try to brought down the communication, they brought down the waters and everything. That's the worst kind of things that might happen. Of course, that's in the movie, but they try their best to make you understand what's really happening if this is real. So, as for a government, so we cannot let these sectors, critical national sectors, infrastructure sectors, down. Same goes to you. If you are about to working in the energy sector, okay, you must take care of the energy sectors so that it will not be breached So because if the energy sector is down, yeah, the whole country will have no electricity, and then it will bring chaos to the country. Yeah. So who did this? Who is the one who want to do all these bad things? Yeah? It's the cyber criminals. And who is cyber criminal? It's difficult because cyber criminals, there are many. There are a lot of groups. Everybody have potential to become a cyber criminal. Yeah? But as for the modern cyber criminal enterprise, the model you can see like this. We have cyber criminals where they create capabilities, which means the tools and techniques, which use infrastructures to attack victims and monetize stolen assets through launderers or mules, to money launderers or money mules. So this is like the whole model of it. So you can understand why they commit cybercrime. Because of this, because of the money. Okay? So most of cyber criminals, they are into that for money. Okay, some of the people, they are into this for famous. They want to be famous, they want to be known. Yeah? They want girls to adore him. Yeah? But those times are gone. That is for script kiddies. Yeah? That is for amateur. But the professional one, they do it for money. That's their main motivation. Yeah? So we can see, let's go deeper. Okay? So these cyber criminals, yeah, they have their own products and services. Okay? That are ready for sales. Okay? Which can be used for various illegal actions in the cyberspace. Okay, some of these products or services can be buy. Some of it can be bought. Okay, can be rent for a certain period of time. Yeah? So they also can use various, or can be sold in various combination. Ddos attack. Okay. Theft or personal information data, they stole credit card information, passwords, email addresses, credentials, yeah, so that they can sell for the purpose of resale or money theft. You can withdraw money from the ATM machines. Theft of money from the accounts of banks or other organizations. You trick them so that they can transfer the money, make payments into another account. Okay, domestic or corporate espionage, to steal information, to steal intellectual properties, yeah, data that you've collected for so many years. Okay, they just steal it like that. Okay. Especially secret documents, for example, government secret documents. For example, in Malaysia, we have one crisis we call the 1MDB crisis, where the email has been leaked, yeah, has been sold to bring down the government, yeah, and blocking access to data on the infected computer for the purpose of extortion, like ransomware. Yeah? So these are the products and services that can be categorized into these activities by the cyber criminals. So where they conduct all these businesses, okay, in the black market. Okay, so what is black market? Cyber black market, underground black market, so whatever they call it. Yeah? So we can see that the black market, they call it because it's a dark web. It's big down there. Yeah? You can see that up here at surface web, Google, Wikipedia, and what's that? Bing, yeah? Google search. You can get all the information, website information, HTTPS there, HTTP and HTTPS there. Okay, but you go deep web where you can get a lot of information. It's not you cannot crawl or you cannot browse, but you can go deeper. Yeah, but because due to the directories, so based on directories, you can access all this information. But the dark web is where all the illegal stuff is there. Yeah, where the communication is encrypted in a secure channel. Okay, using the onion router using Tor. Yeah, so it's like impossible to trace. Yeah, you can see this is example of a black market. Okay, Silk Road. So you can see this is like cyber tools, commodity tools. This is like, I think this is drugs. This is marijuana. There's so many things sold there. Okay, even if you want to hire an assassin, also available here. Okay, but we don't want to focus on other type of crime, but we want to focus on cyber crime. Okay, so cyber criminals, they provide or they advertise their products and services here. Yeah, they even provide, for example, here you cannot see, but it's actually a bug hunting reward. So if you have if you have capability or you have bugs, vulnerabilities, you can sell it here. Okay, they are willing to buy if you have that. The more severe vulnerabilities you found, the higher they will pay. Okay, so we can see, okay, if there are a lot of experts out there have a profile. Okay, the hierarchy of the black market structure, and then we can see here they have administrator in the top of it, okay, subject matter expert below it, and then we have brokers or intermediaries, vendors here, and then mules, general members, and then mules. So this is the hierarchy. Okay, the black market is crowded, still crowded with cyber criminals, and hundreds were recruited and employed by cyber criminal, whether they realize about that or they don't realize. They thought they're working for a legit company, but actually they're working for a cyber criminal. Yeah, and then those people who are hired involved in developing these infrastructures, writing and distributing malware codes, and also sometimes become the money mules, those who the one who cash out those monies. Yeah. For example, okay, as for the case study, let's take a look at the shadow broker. Okay, so shadow broker is the first one who provides subscription for zero-day exploit. Subscription costs you about 21,000 USD per month. Okay, this is a big money. So zero-day exploit is basically a vulnerability that have not yet been found by the Windows. Okay, so that the attacker or the criminal can use that specifically vulnerabilities to do whatever they want to do. Yeah? For example, in gaining access to your system. Okay, according to Bruce Schneier, okay, who is shadow broker? Okay, shadow broker is the group who successfully managed to steal NSA secrets. So what they say about NSA secrets is basically NSA tools, encryption, hacking tools. So whatever data information, they manage to steal it and they rent it. Okay, so you imagine if the cyber criminal have the capability of NSA, because they have NSA tool. So this is very scary. Yeah? We can see that WannaCry malware that recently has been released. It's a combination of ransomware and worm. Okay, we haven't seen this before, but now the new breed, for example, a new species has been released. Yeah, WannaCry. This is something that is sophisticated, and then we believe that there are more scary species that still have not yet been found by experts. Yeah? Okay, let's go back to the cyber criminal. Okay, in order for you to understand, I believe that most of you have seen Ocean 11, right? Yeah? How many have seen this movie? Yeah, a lot, yeah? Those who don't yet see, you must you must go and find it and watch it. It's a fun movie, yeah? It's about how 11 people try to steal a casino and how they plan it. Okay, it started with this guy, George Clooney. Okay, he got arrested and he got jailed. And during his jail time, all he thinks is how to rob a casino. So he come up with a plan. Okay, he come up month of plannings, and then they gather all these teams. Okay, these guys have their own capability. These guys have own capability. These guys. Everybody is unique, and everybody is performing a specific task, so that in the end they will manage or successfully steal money from the casino. Okay, it's a high. Not everybody can steal from casino. Huh? I guarantee you, it's very, very difficult. Yeah, because in casino, the security is very tight. But how they successfully manage to do it? Yeah. So the same thing goes to the cyber criminal, whereby each member have their own responsibility. You can see in this diagram by Kaspersky, we have the leaders. Okay, we have the programmers. We have, under the programmers, they have these web designers. They have malware packing service. And then they have money mules, head of money mules manager, money mules. And they have these traffic dealers, spammers, downloaders. Okay, system admin, they have their own system admin. And assistants. So it's very structured. Okay, because it's a complicated things, so they need to be organized. So if you think before, if a cyber criminal works alone, no. They work in syndicates. Okay, they have their own organization. Even they open an office like a legit company. Okay, there are some data shows that they only active during weekdays. As for the Sunday and Saturday and Sunday, their cyber criminal, their office is closed. Okay? So what they do is preparation, constructing complex infrastructure, selecting and developing malicious malware, specific malwares. Okay, study of the target organization. Okay, if I want to target this bank, so I must understand. I must go there and see how their SOP. So I must go there and steal information months before the real attack has been carried out. Yeah? Including its internet operations and also security vulnerabilities. You can see and then see and look for any openings. Yeah? Once you found it, and then you report it to the leaders. So the leaders will plan to make sure that everything is smooth. Okay, so if you see here the labor crime, the labor market of financial crime. So the programmers, encoders, or virus writers, they are responsible in creation of new malicious software. or they modify the malware. Because if a criminal created a malware and then has been found by the Kaspersky, so they will put the signature into the software, and then it will be detected again. It will be easily detected by Kaspersky anti-malware. So what the criminals need to do is to modify one bit. You change one bit, the whole signature will be changed. And then the malware or the antivirus or anti-malware software will not be able to detect it. Okay? And then web designers or web design programmers, they are responsible for creation of phishing pages. Okay? Emails, spams, or even sometimes they do SQL injection. When you visit a website, and then there will be pop-up or any message. And then they have system administrator for the construction or support of IT infrastructure for the cyber criminal. Tester, the one who tested the malware. And then the cryptors, okay, the one who responsible to packing. Okay, when you have the code, you need to compile it. Okay, these are the ones who pack it to make sure that it will not be detected by the antivirus. Okay, so these three screens is basically a job advertisement. Okay, job advertisement. Advertising vacancies. So the cyber criminal often expect to get employees from remote region of Russia, okay, country like Ukraine. That's why Russian language malwares or hackers are very popular, okay, because it's difficult for them to get jobs somewhere there in Russia or in Ukraine. So one of the options they look over the internet and then work from home, yeah, and then the payment is good, so why not? Okay, because they don't know that job is illegal. Okay, so Russian language hackers not necessarily from Russia. Okay, that's some people misunderstood that. Yeah? And then, okay, these are the people who involved into this. And then you can see that the cyber criminal, they are very organized, very structured, so that they'll be able to conduct more activities, more projects that can generate more money. Some people target businesses, like some group target big businesses. Okay, like one bank, they hack that, they hit that bank, so they will gain millions of money. But some of the cyber criminals, they target these all small businesses. They steal 400s, 500s USD from each companies, but in quantity, it's big amount. Yeah, it depends. There are a lot of groups. So let's take a look. Okay, now let's take a look at how they conduct their modus operandi. Okay, the stages of attacks. Okay, so money-related cybercrime. Okay, let us focus in the money-related cybercrime because there are a lot of category of cybercrime. Okay, but more or less it's same. It will start with exploration or survey. So it will, in this stage, okay, the cyber criminal will target specific companies, okay, and then will get specific experts, contractor, organizer, okay, to investigate and analyze all these informations about the target, okay, because in order to pull a good heist or a perfect heist, it will require very delicate planning. Okay? So all the informations, all the potential vulnerabilities will be identified, and including to develop social engineering. Okay, you can call anyone, you target anyone, you go and approach them, have some beers, okay, have some talk during smoke break to get all this kind of information through social engineering. Yeah, and then once they have all this information, so when the leader said, okay, now it's time for infection or delivery, so they will start with penetration of the corporate networks. Okay, usually it will start with untargeted. Okay, for example, through spear phishing or mass phishing, mailing. So with attachment or link. So it's not easy. Okay, they will trick you. For example, the most trickiest part is that I send, or the cyber criminals send a PDF document, looks like very important, send to everybody inside in the company, saying that I cannot contact your CEO. Can you forward this document to your CEO so that they can get this document, which is very important. So when you think that this is very important, so you will send to your CEO. And the CEO, if you are the COO or somebody high at management level, and your CEO saw your email, he will definitely open it and click it because he knows you. I know you. I know this guy. He's my VP. He's my COO. He's my CTO. So once the CEO click those documents, and then the malware has been infected to the machine. So the trick is they will come with the real scenario sometimes that you don't even thought about it. Yeah? So once the delivery or infections, okay, you can see that the next phase is the exploration and implementation, which is the breach part. Okay, whereby once they infected the machine and then managed to get access to the system, to the computer, and then they will install this remote program. Okay, usually known as, the most famous is RAT, R-A-T, Remote Access Trojan. Yeah? So once they install inside the network, so easier for them to gain access. It's like creating a backdoor inside the cyberspace of an organization. And then they plan for the next stage, yeah? which is they use those backdoors to gain system administrator credential, to gain more information, to steal data, to steal intellectual properties. Yeah? And then, so once they have all this credential information, all those info, and then the next one is the money theft, which is the effect, whereby in the final stage, the cyber criminal will have the access to the financial system and transfer the money, or use the money mules, okay, to withdraw the money, or directly at the ATM, or maybe carry out other activities, yeah, to achieve their attacker's goal. So basically, they have these 4 stages, okay? Exploration, infection, exploration and implementation, and money theft. So these 4 stages is stages in cyber attacks. So that, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you can get some ideas. So how their modus operandi, okay, how they do their work. So, looking back at our modern model, so we can see that cyber criminals and its capability. This is under the law enforcement agencies' responsibility. I would say responsibility by areas, so that they need to understand how they are, the cyber criminal, how they are capable to manipulate those informations to get, I mean, how they get this, how they do it, the capabilities. And for the security industry, they are the one who understand how the infrastructure that has been used by the victim, And then the CERT community is the one, if the victim have problem, the victim will report to the CERT community, and then the CERT community can understand what's really happening. And then the stolen asset has been liquidized or has been laundered to money. Is being done by the financial industry. So the financial industry or the banks need to understand how they manage to change or cash out those monies. So in order for us to fight cyber criminal, okay, it's not easy, okay, because it involves all these entities. Yeah. So I only have 15 minutes, but I have a lot of slides, so I will try to a little bit speed. Yeah. So hopefully you understand what is the cyber criminal infrastructure and how they do it. So this is the type of attacks. Okay. So in order for us to fight them, we need to know what type of attacks that have been attacking us. 45 minutes? Okay, we still have time. Okay, so we have eight malware or cyber attack that I extracted from this article. Okay, so easier for you guys to understand. So let's take a look at phishing attack. Okay, phishing attack is basically an email sent to anyone which usually compromise of malicious email attachment and link. Okay, so how to defend this? This is like the one that I just told you before to the CEO. When he clicks it and then open. And this is basically how to defend this is through awareness training. Okay. And the IT administrator, they can defend from the phishing attacks through removing the admin rights, so that when you click it, whatever that they install cannot be installed. Yeah, and then need to patch operating system and application. Okay, this is to make sure that the vulnerability that the malware that want to infect to the machine unable to infect themselves because of the operating system has properly patched by the administrator. And need to invest in this web protection, email protection. You need to manage your online backups, mobile devices, that management. Okay, and then you need to use password managers, change those passwords, not use strong password. Okay, password is like a underwear. You need to change regularly, and you don't change your underwear with others. Okay, so this is how you defend yourself from the phishing attack, so that you have some ideas. So spear phishing attack, okay, the difference between spear phishing and phishing is basically spear phishing is a targeted, okay. Usually they will target the decision maker of within a company, for example, the CEO, okay. So once they target the senior officer, the decision maker, so they will create a fake email from the CEO sending to the CFO, Chief Financial Officer, saying that, Mr. CFO, please transfer 100,000 ringgit to this account, 100,000 USD to this account. So when the instruction coming from your CEO, what else can you say? You execute, you do, okay, because he's your boss. During that time, your CEO out for a overseas assignment. So he cannot be contacted, but only can be communicated through emails. So this is one of the the tactics or the modus operandi. So how to defend this? Okay, comprehensive awareness training, which means that everyone needs to be reminded, everyone needs to be aware, okay, exposed to this type of threats. Okay, use secure manager endpoints, which means that we need to install malwares or endpoint security. Okay, same as before, remove administrative privilege whenever possible. If that user will not use administrative access, so don't give to them. Okay, minimize the risk. Okay, risk management, yeah. And then invest in these solutions, like same as phishing mail. Okay, so these are the difference. Okay, spear phishing is customized attacks. So to be more, to make sure that you understand what is spear phishing, okay, if you look at this diagram, like what's really happening in this diagram is that, okay, number one, the hackers will target a company. They conduct a survey, okay, through social website, social media. They try to understand, okay, what is your company is all about, all those background information they will collect, and then they follow from the social media trail, identify who are other employees. So they target the employees. And then they send email, a fake but recognized email, they send it. And then this personalized email sent to the employer. And then the email passes the spam filter, arrive in the inbox. So this guy, the CEO, say, oh, I know him, he's John. And then he clicked. Once he clicked it, and then open a website, whether it open a website whereby install the stolen or malware, install malware inside there, or open attachment, or you click a link, or you click an attachment, and then the hackers will use the backdoor. So the successful establish a backdoor. So this is spear phishing attack. Okay, this is the most common tactics. Okay, but the method is different. Okay, for example, they try to create a sort of emergency so that you can, without thinking, you click those attachments or you click those links. Yeah? So this is spear phishing. Okay, the next one is one example of cyber attack is the network probe. The network probe is basically attempt to gain access by scanning. Okay, scanning the whole network, looking for the weakest link or the weakest point, so that the hackers can penetrate. Okay. So usually there are two types of protocol: port scan and SYN scans. Okay. So how to defend from this? Okay. One of the way is that to conduct forensic analysis. Okay. It's difficult. Okay. Based on the logs, you can see who is the one who's scanning the network. So you found, oh, John did it. So you need to go to the executive decision, to the management, saying that John scans our network. He is not supposed to do that. Okay? Unless he had something to do with it. Okay? So this is how to defend, so that the management will make decision, because scanning or network probes is actually an offense. Yeah? And then monitor the network activities to make sure that nobody is scanning real time. Okay, and then understand what had attracted their attention in the first place. Why is John scanning the network? We need to understand that. So once you understand that, and then you'll be able to defend from this type of attacks. The next one is brute force cracking. Okay, brute force cracking is basically an attack, whereby it's a trial and error method. Try to brute force a password, okay, using alpha or numeric numbers. For example, to break the iPhone's passcode. Okay, it's a combination of numbers, so it just takes a matter of time. Okay, for example, if it's 6 numbers combination, 4 numbers of combination, so you can brute force. You can try this combination. Okay, the more faster the machine you have, the more faster you'll be able to break the password. Okay, some of them also using decoder, okay, to decrypt the desk keys. Okay, some of them using dictionary, brute force, using all words inside the dictionary to brute force or to force a password. That's why you need to use a strong password. Don't use weak password you can pick up, you can find in the dictionary, because hackers can export those libraries of dictionaries and then just run it. So if you use a very simple password, the risk to break your password is there. Okay? And then how to defend this is basically use authentication mode or account lookup privacy settings. Okay? And then use device cookies again, so that the brute force will not be successful. And then also implement captchas. Implement captchas means that it wants to show that the one who key in those numbers or words or password is a human, not machine, because brute force is done by machine, by computers. Okay? And then drive-by download. So what is drive-by download? It's basically a program that download software or download something into your computer without your consent. Okay. So usually, what happens is that, okay, that's why if you don't have any awareness about cybersecurity, you being in the internet is like being in the real world. Yeah? When you're wandering around, you will not realize that you are actually entering a dark side. Okay, I mean the dark side of the cyberspace, which means that you are into a website. Like you click from one link to another link to another link, so you will end up in a infected website. So when this website appear, and then it will download it into your computers, injected through SQL injection, the Trojans into your computer, especially those who like to surf porn website, for example, or illegal website. When you go there, you are attracted to this photo, and then you click, and then you attracted, click, and then the real trap is there. Okay, so once you enter that website, you will infected, and then they will manipulate you. Okay, use your backdoor, use your IP address, steal your credential, whatever they can do. So how to defend this? Okay, make sure that your software is up to date. Okay, install antivirus software or web filtering software. Okay, if possible, do not use free software. Okay, please invest, buy antivirus software. Okay, the real one. Okay, whereby you pay for in Malaysia, it's about like 70 ringgits. 70 ringgit, it's like maybe 700 baht. Yeah, 700 baht or 600 baht for a license. Okay, so that you will be able to get full protection. If you use free antivirus, so what's really happening is that it will, it will update the malware signature will not be updated as frequent as the original one, okay? Because it's free, it might be late 2 weeks or late a month from the real signature, okay? So this is exposing your infrastructure to the threats, okay? And then disable JavaScript within PDF documents, okay? Because when you download a PDF, you open it so you can install through JavaScript, and unsigned applets with Java code with unrestricted access, and do not give admin access to the computer users. Okay, so this is like basic how to defend from drive-by downloads. And then the next cyber attack is the ransomware. Okay, so ransomware is a software that designed to encrypt your computer, your data. So if you pay to them, so they will give you the decryption key, okay? And then you'll be able to decrypt your data, your hard disk back, so that you can get this data. But I will not recommend for you to pay for this ransomware, okay? Because if you pay them, you are helping them, making money. You are giving them motivation, okay? So do not pay. So how do you fight ransomware is do backups. Backups, okay? It's like if you don't backup, you are not protected, okay? And then, how to defend from this ransomware, okay? Comprehensive awareness trainings to avoid phishing emails, because usually it will start with phishing emails, and then you need to disable hidden file extension, because ransomware they will look for these file extensions, and then disable macro scripts, okay, block app data, and patch operating system. I forgot to put that, okay. Because the malware will use vulnerabilities from operating system. Usually the victim of ransomware will be coming from the health sectors. Okay, we can see that in WannaCry ransomware case, whereby NHS UK, National Health Services of UK, has been attacked. A lot of computer has been encrypted with ransomware. Because of what? Because they use old version of Windows, and then they did not patch their operating system. Because of why? Because they say that they don't have budgets. Okay, they don't have budgets. But I assure you, if you don't patch, if this thing happens, your entire operation will be problematic. Okay, so please, okay, invest, okay, put budget for your IT security. Huh? And then the next attack is the distributed denial of service, DDoS attacks. Huh? So what DDoS do is basically to make your online service unavailable, okay, by overwhelming it with traffic from multiple sources. Okay, they flood your network with packets, network packets, so that it will bottleneck to your network, and the legitimate people wants to access your website will not be able to do so, because the traffic is congested. If you imagine 1 million computers sending requests to your server at one time, same time. So if you imagine, if I want to access the university for result, or I want to play online games, suddenly the traffic has been jammed with network packets from, I don't know, from all the robots or bots from all over the world, so your service will down. So hackers use this attack to extort, especially in in South Korea, okay, where online gaming is very popular. So this online gaming company has been extort. You pay us 200,000 USD, or else we will DDoS your server. So the company have no choice but to pay because of the business. Yeah. So it will create downtimes, bandwidth costs, lost customer, and then will lead to financial losses. So how to defend this? This is quite complicated. You need to install or apply DDoS mitigation appliances for the best defense against the software system breach. So DDoS mitigation solution is expensive. Yeah? It's very expensive. So one of the other options is that to subscribe internet clean pipe from the internet service provider, which means that the ISP will buy all these solutions, and then you just subscribe to them. You just pay small sums fees so that you will get clean traffic. Okay? So if somebody wants to DDoS you, they have to DDoS the ISP. Okay? Because you are under the pipeline under the ISP. And then the next one is the Advanced Persistent Threats Attacks, the APTs. So this is the most complicated one because it's actually a network attack whereby unauthorized people gain access to your network and stay there for I don't know how many long. Usually hackers, they will create a backdoor and they will leave it there. And then go there and create one backdoor and leave it there until there is a motive. Yeah? Until there is a motive, and then they will go there and get the information. What are the motive? What is the motive? I don't know. Political, somebody pay me to do, and then I will do, I can do. Okay? So, how to defend this? Okay? In order to defend from APT attack, there are multiple technologies are required. Okay? Specific security sets are needed. And then you need to monitor around the clock. Okay? If there is any incident, you must monitor and look at it. Okay? And then you need to do encryption, whereby to make sure that the data is safe. And then you need to network segregate. You need to segmentize, okay, your networks, so that if somebody managed to gain access from that network, they will not have the ability to gain to this network. So you segregate it. Okay, and then you apply whitelisting capabilities, which means that they are whitelists. Other than those whitelists, you will not be able to access to the networks. Yeah? And then, of course, you implement preventive measures, awareness, and so on. Okay? So that's the most, this is the most advanced one, the APTs that we'll be fighting, that the cyber criminal will use their tools, their new techniques to carry out this. So, in order for you to get more understanding, okay, how to visualize, okay, the attack is basically something like this. It will start with Windows Explorer, explorer.exe, because you boot up your computer, okay, and then you launch Google Chrome, for example, yeah? And then when you look at the processes, yeah? And then suddenly the program, the process launches Java. And then what happened after that? is that it launches common shell, and then it executes malware, and then, okay, the hacker attempts to exfiltrate data. Okay, so the point is, the pivot point is basically when it launches Java. So this is where the attack started. Okay, so if you look at the processes, okay, inside your computer, you'll be able to conduct forensic analysis, and then you try to understand what's really happening. But of course, it's very difficult to visualize this because there are thousands of processes happening inside your computer at that one particular time. Yeah? But this is what I can come up with. It's actually coming from the carbon black brochures. I found it very cool so that I can share it with you guys. So that is a type of attacks. Okay, let's recap. In the first topic, you'll be able to understand how cyber criminal works, the modus operandi, the stages of attacks, and then the type of attacks, and then now how to perform security monitoring and detection system. Okay, there are 7 according to Darktrace. It's one security company from UK is the one who come up with this. There are 7 types, 7 steps, but all these 7s, it's not the solution. Okay, because cyber threats, you will never know. Okay, but you can try to minimize the risk. Yeah? The first one, how to secure, is through endpoint security. So endpoint security is basically antivirus software whereby it will look the known malwares, known virus, because the signature, you already downloaded the signature, so you'll be able to detect it. Okay, so it's easy. So when you scan, and then you will extract the virus. But the limitation is there because it is a signature-based, the technology is signature-based. It requires codes to be installed in every device, relies on the knowledge of the previous attacks. Okay, if those virus is a new virus, and then there is no way your antivirus will be able to detect it. Okay, so if somebody with credential holders, which means that from the insider, the malware or the endpoint security will not be able to detect it. Okay, and then same goes to the and then you need to patch extensively, and then usually constantly out of date. Okay, this is endpoint security. This is border controls. So border control is basically you are controlling your borders, your cyberspace borders. Usually people use firewall. Okay, next generation firewall. But these firewalls have limitation, whereby it depends on the prior knowledge of that attack, of the attached methodologies. Sorry, it's not attached, it's an attack. Attack, which means that if those attacks has never been used before, so the firewall will not be able to detect it. Okay. So it will generate a large number of alerts, which is false positive. So you need to analyze more and more and more. Okay, if somebody from insider, also this border control will not be effective. And then you need extensive effort to define rules. Which border operates, which means that you need to define rule if this and then not, if not, if this not, if this not, which means that you put rules so that if somebody from with this IP address, they will not be able to access. So you need to create those rules, so many rules. Okay, and then provide only one opportunity to detect and prevent border breach before it enters the network, which means that there must be you need to have the signature so that they can detect it. But once, if they're already inside the network, inside the border, inside the perimeter, nothing much you can do about it. Yeah. Data loss prevention solution. So data DLP is basically it analyzes the network traffic and then look for certain patterns, okay, of sensitive information, so that before this information being sent out, so it will hold it. Okay. For example, if I want to email my report of digital forensic lab report to somebody outside, no, you cannot do that because we have DLP. DLP will block it. Okay. But the limitation is that, of course, the insider threats. Insider threats is always the problem. Okay, whereby the defense can be bypassed easily, and then if it uses new and unknown attack methodologies, it will not be able to detect it. Okay, and then of course you need to define rules. Okay, because in DLP you need to provide a sample or signature so that it can compare. Once they compare, and then they will block it. Okay, this is DLP. Have limitation. Sandboxes. So sandboxes, what they do is basically to isolate all those IP address or isolate computers that might be potentially harmful, okay, against threats, so that it can isolate that, so that easy for you to minimize the risk. But the problem is that malware can have the capability whether to detect if it is a sandbox or not. If it is a sandbox, so they will stay dormant. Okay, they will not do anything. Okay, until they are inside the real network, and then they will start to activate it. Okay, so these also sandboxes did not address insider threats. Okay, it's only check out points of entry and make quick decision based on little evidence. So you will be isolated into the sandbox. Okay, and depends on the prior knowledge of attack methodologies. If this is the first time it's been attacked, so the sandbox will not be able to detect it. And then routinely defeated by advanced attacker. Okay, because sandbox is just a isolator. Okay, and then there are another tools, log tools or SEIM. SEIM is basically log tools servers. So it will collect all those computer logs and monitors in the real time, all those millions lines of logs. So inside the database, so that it can help you to understand what's really happening inside your system. But the limitation is that there are too many information. Too many information. I'll take many times to analyze it. Okay, how to conduct filters, how to run script, so that can you really understand what's really happening. It's like finding needles in the haystack, so as they say. Yeah. So it typically rely on the signature. Okay, threat intelligence or human queries, or unless you know what you want to find inside this database of logs. Okay, if you don't know what you are looking for, then how can you look for it? Okay? So these are the limitation, the challenge. The threat intelligence. Okay, threat intelligence is basically collection of data of known threats, so that if there is an attack, so you will know. Oh, this is so you know the attack profile, because you have all those information. So anything happens, so you can alert your team. So the limitation is that, okay, it is a retrospective method. It takes a long time to discover new intelligence, reverse engineer it, and share it. Okay, and then depends on the prior knowledge of attacks. Okay, requires extensive maintenance. Okay, because different threat feeds, because you have feeds from Interpol, feeds from CERT, feeds from here and there, too many information. Okay, and then it's a dynamic and fast-changing nature, which means that the information has become redundant because there is a intelligence from here and here and here. How you manage that? Okay, so it's very difficult. Okay, the next one is how to monitor is through behavioral analysis. Okay, it's basically a mathematical, pseudo-mathematical system that can detect known attacks. Okay, so basically, it helps you to provide decision. Okay, to provide decision to help you in doing your works, especially in related to similar to SIEM defenses. Okay, so it disguises dependencies on the signatures. Okay, threat intelligence of the known attacks. Okay, it's only applied to very lightweight subset of data. It cannot detect new and advanced attack. Okay, significant rollout and maintenance resources required. So there are limitations to behavioral analysis type of monitoring tools. Okay, which means that all these 7 types of monitorings still have limitation. We still cannot find the right solution to protect ourselves. Okay, if you are looking for one solution for all, there is no such thing. You need to evaluate risk assessment. You assess your organization, and then you determine the best security for your company. Okay, we can see that there is a crucial need for cybersecurity. Okay, even the SWIFT bank has also been attacked. Okay, how do we solve this? Is from everyone, especially from the IT companies. Yeah, IT companies can help the LEAs. Okay, you should report the crime. Okay, help ongoing investigation, help law enforcement in the ongoing criminal campaigns. If you have malware, send the malware reports, data feeds to CERT or police forces. Provide police trainings. Okay, cybersecurity is a shared responsibility. Yeah? So we need to work together, public, private, and also law enforcement. Okay, I think we have like a small time, so we're going fast to the some case studies. Okay, our friend from the BAE system has put it into profile, a very interesting profile. I'm not sure, it's not really clear, but they put some profile and then make it like a deck card so that you can play. Okay, it's quite interesting. So, for example, in our experience in MH270 spear phishing attack, whereby this document has been circulated, when we analyze it, it is actually identified as backdoor.apt.nikon. When we this is one of the profile, the Nikon. Okay, it uses as standard techniques to change icon. So when you open up this attachment, and then you'll be infected by this malware, and then this malware steal information, espionage kind of thing. Okay, they use trending stories, trending news, yeah? So that people will click at it. Okay, Android malware, we have Android malware case in Malaysia. 2 major banks has been infected. The malware identified as Zeus variant and also the ATS engine. So what the malware did was, when you access an internet online banking, so they will come up a pop-out whereby you need to go to Google Store and download these apps, and then once you download it, and then you need to install, they will give you a link, and then you click to those links, download and install, whatever, and then once the text SMS numbers from the banks comes into your phone, the malware will automatically siphon out, transfer the money out from the victim's phone. So this case has been like big in Malaysia because the banks didn't know what's really happening. Okay, the banks refer to us, so we conduct studies, and then we say that this is user's mistake because he clicked and downloaded those malwares, which lead to the loss of the money. And then the bank people said, yes, this is not our mistake, this is your mistake. So the banks benefit from that because it's a forensic analysis. So the users need to be careful because the bank will not pay back your money. Yeah? Okay, one of the major cases is the Bangladesh bank heist. Okay, happened in February 4 to 5. So whereby in this case, 951 million has been transacted. Okay, only 101 million has been orders has been successful, and then the 850 million orders has been blocked, and then 81 has been successful, and then 20 million has been blocked because of the misspell of foundation. So these 81 millions has been successfully transacted or cashed out within these 3 casinos in Manila. So what I want to show to you is the timing. Okay, what's happened in Bangladesh is that during 4th and 5th in Bangladesh, during Friday is a holiday. Okay, so the attack started on the Thursday. So this is a long holiday whereby on Monday and 8 and 9 is actually a Chinese New Year. Okay, it's a Chinese New Year, so it's a long holiday there. So this is where they conduct this heist. So during Chinese New Year, a lot of people gambling in Manila. So it's easier for the money to move in a big amount, in millions, because in casino. Okay, so this is how they plan it. Okay, in a complicated way, like Ocean 11 kind of thing. Yeah, who did this? From the Kaspersky analysis, they found that it's done by Lazarus, whereby it's been attacking a lot of countries. So their heist is big, millions of money. Okay. So how do they take their tactics and techniques? It will started with phishing emails. Okay, it will started with surveys. They go and study, and then they infect the machines. And then they understand how the system works. The Swift bank, no, Swift bank. It's not a normal bank. It's a international. So how they able to transact the money via network Fed, network New York Federal. Okay. So and then it will end up with the money has been cashed out, 81 millions. The governor of Bangladesh has resigned because of this case. There's another case study is Shylock malware. Okay, Shylock malware is actually a malware. It's a man-in-the-middle attacks. Intercept network traffic, inject into banking websites. So the malware designed a customer to provide banking login, account details, and a lot of information. And then it will able to open fake chat through Skype, and even the malware also have the capability to detect virtual machine environment so that the forensic analyst will not be able to analyze it. Okay, once it's found itself in the malware environment, so it will deactivate itself. Okay, so how they get their money out? Through reshipping mules. They send to another address, and then they using money mules. Okay, another case is Yahoo cyber attack has been attacked, and then the price share is down to a few billions. So in conclusion, financial cybercrime has become widespread. Because of why? Because of not enough qualified staff in law enforcement agencies. It's difficult to keep up with the technology. And inadequate legislation among criminals, allowing criminals, because of the sentence is light. It depends on the countries, and then lack of established procedures between Interpol, between Europol. Okay, it needs to be standardized, and then awareness and trainings need to be initiated continuously. So as for the way forward, in Malaysia, we come out with CyberDev in 2015. Okay, CyberDev, cyber defense, in order to protect or to create awareness about the importance of cyber defense in the cyber world, which is the next level of cybersecurity. Okay, whereby we come up with this in order to help to fight with cyber criminals, especially those who are using APT's kind of attacks. Okay, this is the reference, so you can get these slides. Okay, it can be available. You can refer to all these references. And thank you very much. So I pass back to our beautiful lady.
Thank you very much for our guest speaker. But does anyone has a question from the floor? You know, he came here especially to be with you today. Yeah. So if you have just some question, would be nice. Anyone?
Maybe they shared.
Yeah, maybe they shined.
But I have my email address there.
Yep.
Inside the slides, you can download the slides. So if you have any questions, you can ask me related to this topic. So I'll try my best to answer you. Or maybe Martin's, ETDA guys are here. They also know about this. They also have knowledge about this.
But anyway, you're still here at our coffee break time, right?
Okay.
Might be someone would like to ask you at that time.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much once again. ขอเสียงตบมืออีกครั้งหนึ่งนะคะ Thank you very much.